Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action. Today we're back with the Skaven. This is actually one of my own battles once again. Actually had a chance to play some battles with Lore Master of Sotek, who is of course playing the Lizardmen opposite me, so I'm going to be showcasing a few of the battles that we played, interspersing them with your own replays over the next week or so. So yeah, let's get to it. I've got a Grace here, Lore of Ruin, up on the bell here. He's got Death Frenzy and Dread 13th, and that's pretty much it. He's also got the Bound Scorch and Musk of Fear as well as the Wall of Unholy Sound. This is the effect of the bell. Gives a nice area of effect, leadership, and melee attack buff. And yeah, Dread 13th has a big explosion and also summons a unit of Storm Vermin and Death Frenzy. Just in general, a pretty decent buff spell. Of course, the Assassin, we've got two Poison Wind Globadiers, two Warp Lightning Cannons. The Globadiers, you don't see them too often. I think this is one of the matchups where they are a little bit more viable. We've also got Death Runners in the back, three groups of Rat Ogres, a couple Skaven Slave Slingers, a bunch of Skaven Slaves, and three Clan Rats with shields and spears. For the Lizardmen here, we've got some Chameleon Skinks, a couple Cold One Riders hidden in the forest here, and it looks like a Heaven's Slan, definitely looking for that sweet area of effect damage output with Wind Blast, Chain Lightning, and Banishment. So the double Vortex plus Wind Blast. We've got two Temple Guards with three Saurus Warriors with shields, a Saurus Scarvet on foot, Stegadon to provide some counter artillery fire, a couple Skink Cohort with Javelins. It looks like another Chameleon Skink over on the far side. And yeah, normally I really like this pick of bringing a Stegadon to blow up the artillery pieces, because this bolt thrower that's mounted on the back here is typically accurate enough to consistently hit the Warp Lightning Cannons themselves. A one-on-one, they usually can win against the Warp Lightning Cannons, although sometimes you have to dump some healing into them. Although two-on-one like this with the two Warp Lightning Cannons pounding away, it's going to potentially be rough. Does look like one Cold-Blooded went in there to provide some healing to try and keep this counter artillery going, but unfortunately just the two focus firing, and you are relying on a bit of RNG there. Like the shots that fall slightly short or miss will be pretty rough, because obviously there's only the one artillery piece there. But you can see the Skinks getting into the front line. The Skaven Slaves here very cost effectively catching the Javelins with their face and then running in there. We actually cast Death Frenzy on this unit of Skaven Slaves, so they actually have, you know, Empire State Troop combat stats right now, and we're winning against those Skink Cohort. But now with the buff dropping and the Saurus and Temple Guard coming in, they're going to start losing. Lore Master Sotek doing a very good job kind of moving these guys up hidden on the flank. I honestly had no idea these guys were down here. Probably should have had something there doing some scouting, but you can see the Stegadon's just about offline, so we've taken down a pretty sizable portion of his army right there. And the Poison Wind Globadiers, although they are kind of anti-large focused, they can still throw in. They're able to throw in slightly here. They do have a little bit of an arc of fire where they can throw in and hit those Temple Guards a little bit. And yeah, they'll be able to do some decent damage there. Nothing crazy, but certainly the Clan Rat Spears holding them in place could be pretty cost effective. You can see the Saurus pushes into the back line. We're going to drop that Rival Hide Talisman, the Trophy Heads, and just everything to make sure he doesn't have any stats, and try and run him over a little bit while he's nerfed. Meanwhile, the Warp Lightning Cannon's still online. The Death Runner is going to be pushed into the front line here. I was hoping to hold them back a little bit longer, but they're going to come in here. They will sunder the armor up to 50%, so I was hoping to use them against a heavily armored target, but this Scorch here is actually going to kill quite a few of my own Death Runners. A big mistake on my part there, but nice Banishment coming down from Lore Master of Sotek. He's been unleashing those Wind Blasts and the Banishment just all across the board there. And yeah, you can see the Skaven Infantry definitely suffering pretty badly. Looks like another Vortex is going to be going down here. This one, the Chain Lightning. And unfortunately, this one looks like it curved out and away rather than curving directly back over the formation. So that's pretty unfortunate. The Slan, though, going to drop a Wind Blast here to try and get rid of these Death Runners. And that's a very cost-effective use of that Wind Blast. Blood Statue of Spite as well going down on the Death Runners. So really just trying to take those Death Runners down more than anything. The Rat Ogre's chasing. The Slan's in a little bit of trouble at this point. You can see in the back line, I'm very much trying to protect my Poison Wind Globadiers. They're going to be key at dealing with some of these large targets. So like these These Cold One Riders, for example, come in. They get one good volley, which does some good HP damage, but nothing crazy. Meanwhile, this unit of Temple Guard here, being fixed on the one side by the Clan Rat Spears, then we're going to be throwing into their backs with the Globadiers there. Very cost-effective use of them. Again, not exactly an anti-large target, but still, man, I love the sound of that, like, glass breaking, too. One of the cooler units. Too bad they're not super useful just because they're relatively short range, but again, Lizardmen tend to be a little bit slower in terms of their speed, so you can sometimes get away with using these guys, and of course they're very good against different types of dinos, so you can see here we're able to just about secure this group. Another Storm Vermin, the reserve Storm Vermin that is, able to clean up some of those Cold One Riders, and yeah, the Assassin kind of maneuvering out, trying to go after these Saurus with the regrouped Death Runners here, so we're going to get kind of a little Ninja Rat squad going there. Maybe try and snipe that Saurus Scarvet. But this one group of Rat Ogres here came and cleaned up quite a few units, now cleaning up these Chameleon Skinks, going to also clean up this other group of Chameleon Skinks, both of which had come in and shut down the Warp Lightning Cannons. Unfortunately, not quite in enough time to save that Stegodon, but the Cold One Riders, of course, being very key at that as well. Here, though, the looks like something going down here. Dreaded 13th. This is the explosion. So the explosion deals quite a bit of damage, and then the Storm Vermin come running out there. Lore Master of Sotek goes ahead, responds with a banishment there, which pretty much finishes off the actual Storm Vermin, and then comes back around and is going to do quite a bit of damage to the Summoned Storm Vermin there. So very good use of the banishment to respond. Basically, I pretty much only got the value of the explosion from that Dreaded 13th, which is a little bit rough. It was quite a lot of Winds of Magic, but that being said, the Poison Wind Globadiers are critically still online. We've got some Rat Ogres still online as well to protect them, so the Slann here definitely in a lot of trouble. Gonna get run over by the cart a little bit, slapped on by Rat Ogres, and pelted by the Globes. And yeah, it's gonna be rough stuff. Looks like the Globes actually going after those Temple Guard at the moment, but yeah. Slann did manage to put Cold-Blooded on himself, so we will be getting some healing, but at this point, the last Samurai charge of the Cold One Riders, they will get into the cookie jar, so to speak. But these Globadiers on the side, this group here, are going to be able to throw in another volley or two, and there's also plenty of Clan Rat Spears and other units around. Oh, looks like, nope, they're going to get compromised as well. But at this point, army losses are getting pretty bad. We're going to go ahead and come back, try and resecure here. You can see the Rat Ogres coming back to spring loose these Globadiers. The cart comes over as well. The Assassin and the Death Runners, I think we're able to finish off that Saurus Old Blood there, and now moving through to try and finish off these Saurus Warriors as well. And yeah, Death Runners, very cost-effective unit in the right situation. That Weeping Blade is a percentage-based armor debuff. It's one of the only, I think it's the only percentage-based armor debuff in the game. 50% armor means it scales very well, especially against huge, heavily armored Lizardmen targets like Stegodons, you know, things like that, Bastildons and so on. So I like bringing one or two of them in this matchup just to help sunder the armor of some of those very heavy targets. But yeah, overall, very fun battle. Well played to Lore Master of Sotek. It was super close in the end there. Basically, it was this clutch unit of Rat Ogres cleaning up the back line, you know, seeing off those Chameleon Skinks and making sure that the Poison Wind Globadiers stayed secure. That really ended up being the key point there. Of course, the Grey Seer Lord Ruin with the two Dreaded 13ths. The first one I didn't catch, but we did manage to cast it on a blob as well, and then the Storm Vermin that time didn't immediately get killed, so they were able to get some damage done. These Storm Vermin also did okay. The Clan Rats did okay. The Warp Lightning Cannon shutting down the Stegodon was good, but then they didn't really do a whole lot else besides that, so honestly, it wasn't super cost effective at the end of the day. The Stegodon's only about 1,700. This is 2,000 points worth of resources, so yeah. Let's see here. In terms of the rest of the army, I mean, obviously, Lore Master Sotek, you would expect a lot of kills, but how about that Slann? That double Vortex with Wind Blast, Heaven Slann, 217 kills, and quite impressive total there, all things considered. 81 on these Temple Guard, 103 here. Overall, pretty well played. I mean, this build's super solid overall. The Stegodon ended up being a little bit of a rough pick, so maybe it would have been worth it to just try and go a little bit more aggressive, maybe just bring more Skank bodies, or you know, maybe some, like a croc score and another unit of source or something. You know, it's tough to say, but overall, very fun battle. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.